Welcome back. This is M-Dog, and we are here playing RF4 at Kuori Lake. We do have this Bream order. It is for me, at least in my experience, a fairly rare thing to have a known Bream hotspot at Kuori that works really well. It can be one of the more fun places to fish for Bream, but it's just, like I said, not that often that there's spots here that compete with Oldberg or Volkov, some of the other places. So when we do get one, definitely want to make a video about it. Been playing a lot of Fisher Online lately. Actually, been playing a lot of this lately, coming off of the Sturgeon comp. And then it's been nice to get back into Fisher Online as well, but also definitely wanting to continue with RF4. And so we're going to get set up here. Just notice that we have 1/0 hooks on 2 of our rods. And I think it's going to be the middle rod that's going to have the actually large 1 hook. And we're going to go about a 10-meter clip out here. And the fun part of this is that, oh, no, maybe I switched to 1/0 hooks on all 3, actually. And what that sort of signifies, it's not very common for me to fish for Bream with 1/0 hooks, but what that sort of signifies in my mind is, we are using garlic dough, by the way, is that this spot has been so good, the bite rate is so good that it actually makes sense to, we've got a fish on that line, it actually makes sense to cut down on some of the smaller bites to really try to focus on larger Bream. So we're starting a little bit early here, but this isn't too early. I've only fished this spot once, and it was yesterday, not in-game yesterday, but real life yesterday. So hopefully not much has changed. Weather looks interesting. It's probably going to be better in this spot later in the week. Yesterday when I fished it, it was a little cooler and it was raining. But we caught 2 trophies in one night here. So not necessarily that we'll catch a trophy this night. You never know. Definitely some randomness to that, but the trophies are for sure here. The more interesting thing is I had, in a very short amount of time, in one Bream night, although I will say that I think I started fishing, because it was raining, I started fishing a little earlier than this yesterday when I fished this spot. And here's a nice one. Not quite trophy, I don't think, but we'll see. But anyway, I think I ended up with more Bream over a kilo in a spot than I've ever had. And I don't remember what the exact number was, but like I said, it was 2 trophies, and then, I mean, it was somewhere around 25 over a kilo. That was in about an 18-hour period, because we did start really early and then kind of continued to fish the spot till about 7:30, 8 a.m. So if this spot, and I don't know that it'll be like this again without the rain, and the temp is a little different, but I just feel like this spot is really good. So if you haven't fished this spot yet, by the way, I think this spot has been good for several days now based on what I've seen in VK. But if you haven't fished this spot, it seems like it is still good. And the exciting part is that at different times, the lighting will be just right, and you can actually see the Bream come up and take the bait. One of the really cool parts of fishing at Kuori, as you likely know if you've spent a lot of time here, is how you can see through this crystal clear water. It's really cool. You can see it already. You see that fish out there, the shadow of the fish? And again, there'll be times when the lighting will be just right and we'll be able to really see them a little better than that even. And this is at a 10-meter clip. I think you could probably go like 8-meter clip and still catch them and get to see even more. See, there's a fish right there. See it? And still have a good bite rate. But 10-meter clip seems to be the perfect sort of clip here for this spot. All right. That was a strange gibble there out of nowhere. And I am using regular. I found this yesterday too. We would catch occasional roach throughout the bream. I am using regular bream ground bait. I haven't experimented with any of the spicy garlic variants or anything like that. At regular seems to be working so good. So this is sort of, we're getting to that time of day. If you turn your flashlight on, you can see, especially with binoculars, you can see the bait pretty well. There's a fish coming up, which is, it's kind of crazy because like you can tell how good the bream is before it's even on the line. You can also see when it's got your bait before it's even set your indicator off. So you can be pretty good, pretty quick on. I'm not sure what that bream's doing. Ping pong. And if you want a fun experience, I mean, really along this shore, you can do this with several fish species, even closer to the shore than this. That's a nice one. And actually see the fish, and also see the fish behavior on how long they nibble for. Bream can nibble for a little while, but they also can come up and just take it immediately. So there's some variety with bream, it seems like. you could see the coloration on this one was much more defined than the last couple ones we've seen down there. It's a very small one. I can't remember. Yeah, there are white bream here, aren't they? Aren't there? Yeah. But I'd say that's just a really small bream. It actually decided that the hook was too big for it, I think. Maybe that's evidence of what happens when you're fishing for bream with big hooks, with these 1-0s. I think if we would have had a smaller hook there, it probably would have stayed with it. Which, that's the point. Again, when the bite rate's this good, you're kind of okay with weeding out some of the smaller species. As long as you don't miss a trophy because of that. And this is the perfect time of day for this. You can just see it so well down there. It's another smallish one though. Definitely a regular bream. Look at what's going on with the line down there. See how it's kind of moving around? That's a nice bream, by the way. Oh, I remember one thing that was odd. I think my first trophy in this spot came at about 7 p.m. So early, you know, like maybe 6 p.m. earlier than we even started fishing for this time. And then the second trophy came at a more normal time, maybe around 5 a.m. or something. But that's when I knew like this spot might be really good, when I got that trophy before it was really even bream time yet. But again, it was raining, temperature just right, so I don't think that that's going to always be the experience in this spot, but I do think this spot is really healthy, even despite, you know, when the weather's not perfectly ideal. We already have 10 over a kilo. Uh-oh. Not sure he actually had picked it up yet. Yeah, I messed that one up. This is a good spot to... So somebody was telling me recently, I think it was Jake, that, you know, somebody had put a pop-up rig in the water with like a 35 centimeter or like a really short leader, and then someone, you know, to see what it looked like, how far away the pop-up was, and then they put a 60 centimeter leader in it, and at least I think the conclusion they reached was that no matter the size of your leader, it didn't seem to actually affect how far the pop-up boilie was presenting. Now, I haven't tested that myself, but at Kuori would be an awfully good place to like cast it close to the shore so you could really see what the pop-up presentation looked like and experiment a little bit with different leader sizes and such. Alright, so next fish I gotta remember to change out the ground bait on all three of them, I think. Oh, yep. I knew I wasn't going to remember. There's a white. Despite our hook size, we still found a white. starts to get light, it is a little harder to see. Start to get the shadows again of the fish. We may not quite get trophy this time, but even if we don't, we've had some nice ones. I am using 6.4 fluorocarbon line, by the way. It feels like it's about the right way to go on line diameter. Although I did see one of the people who had caught a trophy here, I think was using 9.8, which is what I used to use for bream. So you might be fine doing something like that too. Alright, still a little bit more time left where hopefully it'll keep being good. But I think it's already been pretty amazing. I mean, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. We're at 19 already. It's still such a good spot. And I'll be really curious. I don't know that I'll get to try it, but like these 10 and 9 degree high days with cloud covering, that just sounds like it could be pretty amazing. I think it's funny how there's this like natural assumption if you start playing another fishing game like Fish Your Own Line or something, like there's an assumption that you're not going to play RF4 anymore or something. Like it's like a team, you have to choose which team you support. I mean, the Fish Your Own Line has been a lot of fun, and I think it'll continue to be a lot of fun. Obviously there is there's more depth in RF4, I would say. I can't imagine like replacing RF4 with the Fish Your Own Line, but as something fun to do alongside of it, it's just been terrific. It's been so much fun. You are leveling through Kuori. This spot is so good right now. I mean, if you're trying to save up silver and need something to fish during the nighttime at Kuori, like, and I don't know how sensitive this spot would be to fishing it multiple nights in a row. It might be great. If it is, like, that's what I would be doing. I have to go back to being a little more careful when I pick up the rods, because I can't tell when the fish for sure have the bait as it's getting lighter outside. Did I tell y'all that I didn't know that 40 is a soft cap in RF4? In other words, I thought that when I finally hit 41, that level 41 to 42 was going to be even greater than 40 to 41, but that's not the case. I guess when they first came out, with the servers and made the game and everything, they didn't really think people would be getting to this level, or they just kind of hadn't thought that far ahead, so they kind of set this as almost like a max level and put an absurd amount of XP to get to the next one. And then obviously the game has continued to grow, and they've continued to give more and more XP for higher level fish and all that, and so now people obviously do level well past 40, but they've never gone back and taken that soft cap off of level 40 to 41. So actually when I hit 41, leveling from 41 to 42 will go back down to a similar, just a little more than what it was to hit from 39 to 40, I think. But they've decided to keep this soft cap between 40 and 41. I think there's also a soft cap in Fisher Online as well, but so that's kind of interesting. That was kind of encouraging to find out. Because when I saw that I needed 90.5 million experience to get to 41, and I was thinking to get to 42 would be even more than that, you just all of a sudden you start to feel like, okay, well, I guess I'm not going to really be leveling that much anymore. But that's not the case at all. 40 to 41 is just something you sort of have to sit through. And eventually you'll be back to a little bit more reasonable levels. So one thing I did was I did get some. Ooh, that's another nice one here at the end of Bream time. I did get some. Let's see, some ruby diamond wine, and I'm gonna try to remember, like if I'm carp fishing or even sturgeon fishing or whatnot, when a really nice fish is coming in, I'm going to try to remember to take a couple, swigs of that, just to help take the, to help progress a little bit more quickly through 40 to 41, which I've made more progress than I anticipated I would even to this point. I mean, we're already over a third of the way now. But basically 90.5 million experience. I mean, that's almost as much as you need to get to level 40 in the first place, like 1 through 40. So that's a lot of XP. I'm still thinking about, so this video hopefully will come out here in the next little while, which today is Saturday. I'm going to be out tonight, but I am thinking about streaming tonight once I get back. And if I do stream, I guess regardless of whether or not I stream or not, I'm still thinking about considering whether or not I want to go fish for sturgeon again. There's that individual competition going on this weekend, and obviously I'm not going to be hitting it hard. I don't have the time this weekend, and I also haven't started. So, but I think it would be fun to at least go make an attempt to, just kind of get out there. The competition this weekend that starts this weekend is an interesting one, because if you can even finish in the top, I can't remember if it's the top 20, it's the top something, then you sort of move on to the next level. This is like a 3-tiered tournament. So if I don't even give it a try this weekend at all, or if I don't end up doing it, then I won't even have a chance the next 2 weekends when the next levels of the competition occur. So it's a fun idea. I like the multi-tiered comp. Although after doing this past team competition, it's kind of spoiled me. That was just really fun, like hanging out with your team, working together to test out and find spots, and figure out what's working best and all that. So the idea of going back to an individual comp isn't as appealing, but we'll see. I may do that a little bit. All right, I think we should probably go ahead and start working towards wrapping this up. I mean, I think this spot is so strong, you probably could even fish this spot for 24 hours straight and occasionally still get markers even through the non-bream time. But it would definitely slow down. You're going to get more gibbles and roach and stuff mixed in, I would think. But this spot is strong enough that, you know, it's kind of worth fishing for sure. All right, let's go till 9 a.m. So we'll go 29 more in-game minutes here. See if we can get one or two more. I mean, it's just crazy, the 6, 12, 18. I mean, we're at 23, 24, really 28 over a kilo. Again, kind of like the last time I fished this spot. The only difference is I don't have the trophies, but I mean, to have, you know, we may end up at like 30 over a kilo if we'd started a little earlier, if we go a little later. I mean, that many in one bream session over a kilo, that is, I don't know that I've really ever seen that, at least with this consistency. It's really intense. Look at this. All right, I think it definitely feels like we're at that point where it's going to slow down a little bit, but let's see what this is. That looks like another bream, doesn't it? Can't tell on the coloration if it's, might be a little small. Might actually be a gibble. I can't tell. It was in fact a gibble. All right, so let's go turn in the cafe order if it's still active, see how we did silver wise, and then we'll wrap this video up. But if you're in the mood for some bream fishing, come check out Kuori. You never know how long it'll last. $180 silver. With those trophies, I think it last night, I think it was $280. I think I ended up with 280 silver, plus there was a bream order then as well. So we're getting 40 silver for those three. and 170 more. So 210 silver for a night of bream fishing. I mean, that is great. That is excellent. Okay, hey, thanks for watching. Look forward to seeing you next time. And if you're going to be around later, keep an eye out. I'll either work on another video or two, or possibly even get a stream in later tonight. Peace out.